Hey everybody, we're about 6 hours after race number one here at the World Championships, and I've been taking a lot of time to process what happened today before I just shared. I want to make sure that not only for this communication with you, but also for myself, that I am reminded of the bigger picture of what it is that I'm doing here. And there are three things that are really relevant in different contexts. Number one is the result. Where did I place today? Number two is what happened in the race. What was my process? What were the physical characteristics of the race? What was going on with everybody else, etc. And then there's the bigger picture. Why am I here? What am I doing? And how does that relate to my experience today? So first off, the result. I was 12th. Number two, what happened? Uh, It was slush. It was an absolute slush fest. It was very difficult to ski with any sense of good technique. I didn't see anybody skiing with good technique. You couldn't. It was heavy rain and sleet towards the end of the race, maybe the last 3 kilometers. And my skis were really slow. Or should I say, most of the other skiers' skis were very fast in a way that is suspect. And those of you that are not in the ski world, there is a type of wax that has fluorocarbons in it, which is now illegal. So FIS, the Fédération Internationale du Ski, outlawed fluorocarbon waxes maybe in 2021 or 2022 because they have forever chemicals in them. The F in PFOA or PFAS is fluoro. So fluorocarbon waxes are far superior to the waxes that we have in the non-fluoro era. And even though there was fluoro testing at the races, they were only testing 10 pair of skis for the entire day. So 800 athletes, they tested 10 pair of skis randomly. So your chances of being caught were minimal, and therefore the risk was minimal, and your reward for doing well on illegal wax was probably worth it in your eyes. The race started with a 2-mile climb, and I was in the mix. The first half of the climb, I was in third place. Then we came to a short downhill, and quickly, I was in seventh place. People just blew by me on the downhill, and the lead, a couple guys pulled away from me. And then I tried to work my way back up to that group, kept them within about 3 to 5 seconds by the time the 2-mile uphill ended. So I was in a really good position. I was feeling good. Then we rounded the corner for a very long downhill, and they were gone. And I did not see them again. And then throughout the rest of the race, one by one, people would fly by me like I was standing still. So I don't know that people were using illegal wax, but I've never had people with skis that much faster than mine before. I've had people with skis that are maybe 1 or 2% faster, and that makes a difference. But when people are going by you 10 miles an hour faster than you are, and on each downhill, they're putting 20 seconds on you. And then you get to the next uphill and they're so far ahead, there's no way you can catch back up. Anyway, so that's what happened in my race. Had I had equivalent skis to the other athletes, would I be on the podium? I don't think so. I'd say the top 4 today, 3 of them being the world champs from various years that were all here, I wouldn't have beaten any of those guys today. They looked really strong. My guess is that I probably would have been 5th or 6th. I don't know, based on how that 2-mile climb went and how I was feeling. Because the rest of the race, most of it was recovery, because you already did the work and now you're recovering on these long downhills. So that's what happened in the race. And again, I am not going to say with certainty that anybody cheated. It's suspect. That's all I can say, because the difference in ski speed was dramatic. Anyway, tomorrow there will be much more extensive fluoro testing. We got a message today in our WhatsApp group, and I suspect that there are other people like me who did not use fluoro waxes and who said, hey, everybody else's skis were rockets and mine were just dragging through slush. So I think there were a lot of complaints, and tomorrow the testing will be much more extensive, and I'm not sure why it wasn't today. Anyway, that's what happened in the race. I skied my best. I couldn't have skied harder than I did. I tried to the best of my ability to use good technique, but it was nearly impossible due to the deep slush. It was very hard to ski. It was a slog fest. We were just flailing about in deep slush. That's the race experience. Now, I'm not disappointed because I didn't have any expectations going in. I just wanted to be present and do my best. But then there's the bigger picture, which is that this is not the end of the road for me, meaning I haven't trained all year for this event. This is not the icing on the cake. This is simply one step on this long path that I'm on to see what happens if I gently engage throughout the day, every day, for the rest of my life. What will that look like? How will that transform my body? It's already transformed me in some pretty dramatic ways. I never avoid exercise because it never feels bad, because I'm not pushing. I'm not forcing myself. I'm always finding a way to gently engage and to be really present in the process. And therefore, I'm in the world. I'm not just trying to hit some metric that is on my schedule or my workout plan. And thank God it's done when it's done. Like, wow, I'm glad I survived that workout. I never feel like that. So if I had to work out like that in order to be with those top three guys today, if I had to train as hard as they did, I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't, to me, it's not worth it. I don't ever want to train like that anymore. I want to enjoy my life. I want to enjoy each moment. I don't want to push. I don't want to use willpower anymore. And if that means that I'm only ever going to be the fourth best in the world because I've done that twice, hey, that's not bad. Never working hard and getting to fourth position in the world, I think that's a resounding success. And a lot of these people, this is the end of their season. They peaked for this race. When this week of racing is over, they're done with skiing and they need a break. They need to relax. They need to recover. They need to not think about skiing or exercise or whatever for a while. So athletes will call this periodization. Like you peak for your race season and then you have a rest and recovery period. I don't need a rest and recovery period. And I don't ever take one because I don't need one, because I'm never pushing myself to the point where I need that kind of rest, mentally or physically. Mentally, I'm always excited to move every day. And physically, I always feel good when I move because I'm never buried by what I did yesterday. So in this new compassionate approach to training, movement, fitness, health, whatever you want to call it, that I'm engaged in, I use something that I call the 80% rule. Not to be confused with 80-20 training, where 80% of your training is relatively easy, but for most people that's still much harder than what I'm doing. And then 20% is moderate to hard. I should change the finger lengths there. 80% for me means that I don't ever try to be at 100% peak fitness. I don't ever want that to be my goal. I don't even want 90% peak fitness to be my goal. My goal is 80%. So right now, I'm at 80% fitness, and my training will get me to being 80%, but I'm always at 80%. And 80% this year is going to be a little bit better than 80% last year due to the accumulation of the training that I've been doing and how that's been affecting my body. So the first year I started training like this, that 80% is not as fit as I am now. So what I am now probably would have been 100% of what I was doing 3 years ago, but now it's just 80. And I'm 56, just a few months away from 57, and I can't see any reason why I can't keep getting fitter at least for a few more years, because this type of training has really, it's changed my body in some pretty dramatic ways, especially in relation to strength training. It's pretty easy for me to crank out 20 pull-ups. which is something I struggled with in my early 20s when I was doing very hard, very heavy strength training and really trying to be as big and strong as possible. I'm maybe a pound or two heavier now of muscle than I was in my early 20s, and I'm just as strong now. And I never train hard in my strength training. It's always just gentle touches. Go to the pull-up bar, do 3 pull-ups. Go to the dip bar, do 10 dips. But for me, that's easy now. It used to be go to the dip bar and do 1, go to the pull-up bar and do 1, or do a half. Jump up and then let yourself down slowly. I never started by doing hard stuff. Even in the beginning, it was always very easy. So I'm curious to see what this 80% of peak fitness year round is going to yield. Will I continue to grow? I think so. I'm curious to find out. I could be wrong because I am at the age where fitness is really starting to fall off a cliff for most people. Anyway, so when this week is over, I'm not taking a break. I'm excited to keep moving. I'm excited to keep growing and approaching movement and approaching skiing. Like, this isn't a disappointment for me. Getting 12th place, which is the worst result I've ever had in a World Masters for skiing, it's still a great result, but I don't even really care. My goal was just to be here. And as far as I'm concerned, the 2-mile climb was the race, and I was right there, just at the back of the lead guys. So I can do that. I can ski up a 2-mile uphill with the best skiers in the world. And it didn't bury me. So that's fantastic. There we have it. I'll check in with you tomorrow, which is race number 2, which is a 20-kilometer on the same course twice. And it looks like the conditions are going to be the same, so we're going to be skiing in slop. So now I get to figure out, okay, is there something I can do with my skis? Some different type of preparation? I don't know. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. I'm not going to worry about it too much. Maybe there's a different strategy I can use in the race. Maybe I can take it a little bit easier on the uphill and really work the downhills hard with my legs. Most people were just in a tuck on the downhill, so they're just bent over and just skiing straight. Maybe I need to be skiing back and forth with my legs to make up for the lack of ski speed. So maybe I should save a little bit of energy at the top of the climb. I don't know. Find out. It's all just a discovery process. Okay, that's it for now. I'll see you tomorrow.